So I just got back from upstate New York and I was driving around there, and it is currently peak rut season for deer, which means they're running around, they're absolutely crazy. And I almost hit two of them and got a really close call with one of them, literally just jumping in front of my car at night while I'm going 55 on their back roads, which I don't even know how that's the speed limit because a lot of the time I'm only going 45 and I have people behind me like flashing their headlights like, come on man, speed up, speed up, speed up. I'm like, do you see these turns I am doing in this car? I don't know these roads. And like, literally some of them are absolutely insane, and as someone who likes to drive fast, I was going 10 under the speed limit. But you got me thinking, if I hit a deer, like, shouldn't the government pay for that? And I do get that the government pays for stuff using money that it taxes from us, so they can't even, like, them paying for stuff isn't them paying for stuff, which annoys me. But, like, I still thought, shouldn't the government be responsible for me hitting their animals? Like, if a dog attacks me, I can sue their owner. If like someone's horse kicks my car, I can sue them. If I hit a deer, like, I have to pay for that? Like, why? If the government can tell me when I can hunt, how I can hunt, and what I can hunt, doesn't that mean they own the animal? And I went on ChatGPT and just asked it some questions about this, and it's like, that's an interesting point. States typically don't own wildlife in the way that individuals own pets. Wild animals like deer are typically considered res nullis under the law, meaning that they belong to no one until they are captured or legally hunted. Just goes on, when your dog causes damage, you're responsible because you own the dog and take control of the dog, making it your liability for the behavior. And I'm like, but doesn't the government own the deer? I mean, they tell you when, where, and how to hunt. It's like, absolutely right. The government regulates hunting wildlife. Like, it basically saying that it manages the wildlife but doesn't own the wildlife. It goes on to talk about how the state's authority to regulate hunting is rooted in what's called the public trust doctrine, which holds wildlife belongs to everyone collectively, and the government manages it for the public good. I never signed on for that. As far as I'm concerned, it's their fucking animals, because if it's my animal, then what if I want to shoot it at night? What if I want to shoot it with a rifle? What if I want to shoot it wherever the fuck I want to shoot it? What if I want to shoot it when it walks on my property in the summertime? It's not deer season. If it's my animal, I'm shooting it because I want that deer. But no, it's the state's animal because they can tell me that I can't shoot it when it walks into my property. Because if it was my animal, that means I can't shoot it. But besides that, and then go on, like, just chatting with ChatGPT. I'm chatting with ChatGPT about this, and I'm like, so you're saying that if I don't own my dog, but rather that I am the steward of my dog, I cannot be sued for any of the actions that the dog takes? Because I'm like, how does that really seem like you're just finding stewardship over ownership? Like, I mean, yeah, that could be a loophole. Like, if someone, like, if the dog attacks them, well, I don't own the dog. I'm the steward of the dog. I manage the dog and taking it to the vet, but I don't actually own it, so you can't really sue me. And I was also thinking, like, does it mean, like, if your kids do something, like, in the future, like, you couldn't be sued for it? But, anyways, it's like, no, not quite. The difference lies in the level of control and responsibility. If you're a steward of the dog, you have a high degree of control and can take care over the animal, feeding it, housing it, and even ensuring that it behaves safely. Legally, that makes you responsible and liable for the dog's action. I'm like, feeding it, housing it, and ensuring it behaves safely. Well, I mean, doesn't the government house deer on the government's land? Like, the government technically owns all the land in the country, because if they didn't own the land, then how the fuck can they take it from you if you refuse to pay property taxes? And ChatGPT didn't seem to understand that point, because I'm like, no, the government owns your land. You are leasing it, you're renting it from the government in form of property taxes. Because if you don't pay those property taxes, they're going to take it from you, which means you don't own it. You're renting it from them. And I'm like, let's think of this too. If you want to go onto some state forests and take resources out of them, you need to get permits because they are the government's materials, which they manage but really own. So the deer feed on the government's food, which is on the government's land. That sounds a lot like housing the animal and feeding the animal. And then I did talk to ChatGPT a little bit more, and basically I'm like, it seems like the government just wrote the laws to make it so that they're not responsible for you hitting wildlife or any of the actions caused by wildlife because they don't want to be. And to that, it said exactly. Yeah. So you're basically just saying that the government wrote the laws so they decided that they decide that they can't. I misspelled that in the sentence. Didn't want to be liable for it. And it says exactly, that's the heart of it. Government writes laws to limit their own liability for things like wildlife, natural events, because taking on that responsibility would be unmanageable. I just hope that they manage to apply this same thing of like, maybe we shouldn't take on responsibility for things that are unmanageable to the rest of the economy, because they seem to be fucking around a lot with that versus allowing free markets to dictate what happens. But if the state were liable every time a deer caused an accident, taxpayers would end up footing the bill for something largely beyond their control. And that's one of the things I dislike. Like, I don't know, I tend to think of the government as a big group of incompetent dumbasses. But it is that, but it also is funded with our money. So suing the government is literally just like stealing money from your neighbors. I mean, I wish that like if you sued the government, they didn't just get that money back in the form of taxes, but like, I don't know, some bureaucrat somewhere lost their job, or now the government wouldn't be able to, I don't know, study the effects of cocaine on the mating patterns of, I think it was some bird or something. But like literally, they blow money on the stupidest crap. Yeah. So I mean, they basically get to define the laws because they make the laws, and just pointing it out how life is. Peace out.